So a lot of people get nervous about arches. When I did my first arch, I had a breakdown, I'll be honest. And then after a couple of months, I came back to work and I was able to resume doing arches. So
The problem is, people make too hard of a thing out of
So we'll call this the ceiling of the arch. Okay. The reason I do this video is because it's a very interesting arch. Here's why. Now, with different wallpapers, arches are done. Well, the method of the procedures to do an arch is governed by the type of wall covering you're using. If I were doing this with cork, you want to do an arch easily, get cork. The easiest arches to do. You can cut little pieces of cork, it's the best. Now, we don't have cork, we have grass cloth. So here's what I decided to do. When I took this job, I said, okay, how am I gonna, oh man, I'm sure, oh no, isn't it? Okay. Cutting it short there. So when I took the job, I said, I'll put the ceiling in first, right? And then what I decided to do was to put the wall, this wallpaper down here, come past the arch, and then to trim the wall paper for the wall like this. Now, in reality, is that going to work? Who thinks it would? In order for that to work, what we have to do is to use a guide that's going to protect this, a flexible guide that we can move as we cut this wallpaper that will be hanging over. Does that make sense? I just lost 20 pounds. A lot of folks are clogging my emails. You look great. Please, don't do that, please. So now picture what I'm doing with a guide. Right? Now, you have an idea of what I'm talking about. So now, my new wallpaper, make believe this is my new wallpaper. In order to trim this from in here, I'm going to be scraping this, right? So I figured that I would get my flexible zinc wallpaper it's a gadget that we have on our wallpaper table. It's about this wide, and we trim our wallpaper up against it so we're not cutting up our wood. Now, I don't use it because it gets grooves in it and it starts making your knife go, and I just cut against the wood because I make a lot of money. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Joking. I cut on the wood. So I have this zinc plate with which I could protect my grass cloth. Right? Now, I'm thinking, it sounds great in theory. It's not gonna work. It's too long. It's 72 inches long. But, there are other things I could use, right? Certainly not this. I think it would start cutting into this. But as long as I protect my grass cloth. But that's my method of proceeding. Now, think about it. If I protect this grass cloth and I trim my new sheet, what will be showing to the folks on your side of the arch? Which wallpaper edge? This one or this? Neither one. The edge will be hidden for those folks who can get their heads in here. You get it? No one's going to see it. Okay. So, what do you think? Isn't it genius? I mean, seriously. Oh, gosh. I gotta tell you, the things that I come up with, I can't even believe I come up with them. You know? So, my wife is a good-looking woman. Unfortunately for me. Because I had to have a lot more than looks in order for her to like me. But she's not materialistic. So, anyway, a lot of gentlemen were like, oh, you know, they're trying to show off the cars they drive, etc. You know, and they were trying to court her. So she says to me, so one guy drove a Maserati. Now, I didn't know what a Maserati was. You put 2 blades in, Ruben. 2 blades. That's why I couldn't use it. So, the one guy, now I felt like an idiot. The guy drives a Maserati. And at the time, I had a Honda Accord, you know, and it was old. I'm just a paper hanger, you know. So she says, so this guy, William, he drove a Maserati. He's trying to, she's like, I don't like him. She says, he drives a Maserati. So I've Googled it. Maserati. So at the time, I was working part-time in an ice skating rink. And she says, what do you drive, you know? She says, just for the heck of it, what do you drive? She didn't care. So I'm like, I don't want to tell her I drive a Honda Accord. So Maserati, I'm thinking, I don't know how smart she is. I said, I drive a Zamboni. She's like, a Zamboni? I said, Zamboni. Yeah. She's like, wow. She said, do you have a picture of it? My heart dropped. I said, no, I don't have a picture of it. So I got it and she said yes. I had to come clean with her. I said, look, I work at a nice skating rink. I do drive a Zamboni, but it's not mine. It belongs to the park. She said, where was this? This is a Honda. I said, I'm getting to the point. So I said, I clear the ice. She said, I don't understand. I said, you don't have to. You don't care about this stuff anyway. I said, that's a Zamboni. Big machine. I said, I'm sorry. Long story short. Anyway, took her a while to get over it, but she married me. She did. It was cool. But I won't say I lied. Well, let's just say I'll never have to tell anybody I drive a Zamboni, you know? For those of you who don't know what a Zamboni is, Google it. She did. I felt so stupid. And I shouldn't have cared, you know? Shouldn't have told her I drive a Zamboni. But I did. I figured I do drive one. But it was a stretch. I had to do some soul searching. You know? Anyway, I figured you might want to hear the story about how I got married. Okay. So, what do you think? Sharp blades. Now, this is one way of doing an arch. This isn't going to be... You could do this, I suppose, on every arch. Even the ones that have visibility on both sides. Let's face it, you go through a hallway in old houses, you have an arch. You can see it from each side. You could do this procedure on both. But, if you have a matching pattern, you may want to be a little more fancy. Okay, so did they get a good view of everything? The next sheet we put up is going to exceed the, what is this called? Not the arch, but it's going to exceed the radius. So we'll have it come down several inches so that we have some meat against which we could cut and feel confident that we're not taking off too much. So we want some meat on this side of it. See? It looks like it's good, but it's not. It's not good. It would look bad. Okay. Oh. Okay. Now, for the heck of it, I'm going to try with this little flexible smoother, and I'll tell you if I'm having success. First of all, we don't need this big thing here. You do need a sharp knife. Okay. See, what I do need is somebody here pressing this wallpaper against it. So if I could penetrate it quick, and then... Okay, so here's what I decided to do. I might be able to protect it without all of that fanfare. So you got to push back. Okay. So now my blade is extended. The idea is you don't want to cut the grass cloth, obviously, right? Do you see at the end of my blade there's a protective metal thing just before the shaft of the blade? Exactly. That seems to be protecting what I need to protect. So we come to the other side, and this is the effect I wanted. This is the effect I wanted. That is exactly what I wanted. Okay, let's continue with this. Okay, so I did the rest just like that. And my corner is coming together beautifully. Let's see. Okay, now look at that coming along. My goodness, how gorgeous that looks. Microfiber cloths. I'm angling my smoother to press hard on the corner of the arch to give my wall covering a little bend in it, so that when I penetrate it, it's more inclined to give way to the cut than to resist and have the blade go elsewhere. When I do really good stuff, I'm sorry. reason I'm using a rag, you can cut your hand right open with grass cloth and not realize it. Okay. Gotta cut a piece off, it's so little. Perfect. Okay, what do you think, Rubén?
Good.
¿Está bien?
Great. Mhm.
Dígame en español.
Muy bien.
¿Sí?
Bueno.
Bueno, okay. Show them the... We're gonna continue. Show them, please. Show them the fine product. Nice, you did a good cut. Now I'm going to be putting wallpaper over here tomorrow. So I create flanges on the edges of my wallpaper. If you can look at right down here, you'll see a flange. That is on purpose, it's intentional. What do you think? If you like the video, please click on like, subscribe to my channel. And could you just do me a favor? Not that you have to, but if you could put the word perfect in your comment section, just put perfect. If you want to be really nice, say Spencer, comma, you're perfect. And then with a period. Thank you. I figured I would take you in close.